Where Sarms is going to suppress your testosterone, but it's not going to completely take it away. You would just take Novadex as a PCT. You don't need HCG. You don't need Clomid. Stop listening to these people trying to just sell you shit because that's what they're trying to fucking do. Ayo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over Sarms versus steroids in my personal experiences. I would just like to put a disclaimer out there that I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to promote you to take steroids or Sarms, but with that said, I understood when I was 18, there ain't nobody on this earth that was going to talk me out of doing it. So I just want to provide you guys with my experience so that you guys can, one, be safe, two, get the most information possible so you can make the best choice for you. Because at the end of the day, bro, that's all that matters. Now, if you guys are new to this channel, my name is Plummer. I worked my way all up to nationals in bodybuilding at just 19 years old. Retired the bodybuilding just because I didn't have the pure size. Went into powerlifting. Went to total 1957 at the current US Opens, which ranked me 9th in the world of all time at 198 at just 21 years old. For the last 5 years, I've been dabbling in steroids and Sarms. I've been doing different experiments, trying to see what works the best, what side effects happen, reading clinical studies, and I've also been coached by 4 different IFBB pros that all took a different approach to this. So I'm just gonna share my personal experiences of what I found, and hopefully it can help you. Now, for all you fucking haters out there, why would somebody do Sarms opposed to steroids? You guys that hate Sarms hate Sarms. Let's start this conversation off with the pure availability. Sarms versus steroids. Now, depending where you live, I'm assuming most of you guys live in the United States of America, the home of the free, the land of the fucking brave. Let's fucking go.
Playing into the hoax, people like you and the fake news media.
Steroids is the same as meth, is the same as cocaine, is the same as weed. In some, like I know some states weed's legal, but steroids are classified as a scheduled drug, which means if you get caught with 3 bottles of test, you go into jail, motherfuckers. Whereas Sarms, you can buy and sell them as research chemicals. As you guys know, I sell the same Sarms that I take during my preps on www.themarkplummer. We had to spend tons of money to actually be able to sell these things as research chemicals. But with that said, doesn't matter if you're from Canada, the United States, UK, as of right now, they are legal for research purposes. Now, I do feel that is going to change in a very, very short period of time. It just doesn't make any sense. So I do feel eventually it will be more regulated, but as for now, Sarms are going to be a lot easier for you to get. Sarms are all orals. Every single one of them. You have no need to inject. And I know that is a huge plus for a lot of people that do not feel comfortable injecting themselves. As well as when you are looking at steroids, you need to plan out a injection schedule. Now, for your boy here, he had bad acne, horrible acne, because I was pinning Mondays and Thursdays. I just had too much of unstable hormones. And then when I came off everything, my acne just blew up. As opposed to Sarms, you are going to take 10 to 30 milligrams every single day. So you never have an influx of hormones. So if you're worried about acne coming from Sarms, I've never had a breakout ever from taking a Sarm cycle. But any time that I'm on steroids now and I miss an injection or something's off, right now I have to inject every other day just to make sure that my acne doesn't flare up. The potency of Sarms is not going to be the potency of steroids because you could never take 500 milligrams of Sarms. If we're gonna put this into layman terms, pound for pound, the Sarms are just as good as the steroids. But the issue is that you can inject a lot more steroids, like 300, 400, 500 milligrams a week, where you would never be able to really take 500 milligrams a week in Sarms without getting some crazy side effects or abusing your insides to side effects that we don't even know possible yet. From my personal experience, Sarms, I never did a PCT. Now that was stupid on my end. I do realize that on my bigger Sarm cycles, I think I did 20 milligrams of Rad 140, 10 milligrams of LGD, and 10 milligrams of YK11. And guys, YK11 is a myostatin inhibitor. It's not really classified as a Sarm, but I'm just giving you the whole story. I should have done a PCT after that because my testosterone would have been hella suppressed. But for the most Sarm cycles that I did, I was just trying to get ready for summer. I was just not in any type of contest prep, not competing. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to go through the hardship, the toxicity, the injecting of going on an actual cycle. And I just wanted to trim up for summer, get a little bit harder, a little bit fuller. So I would do 6 to 8 weeks at 10 milligrams a day. And I wouldn't need a PCT because you have to remember, Sarms doesn't completely shut off your testosterone. If I was gonna put this into a chart graph, the minute I take 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams, 300 milligrams, 400 milligrams of testosterone, my testes just go, baby, please, goodbye. For those of you who know the LUI, where Sarms is going to suppress your testosterone, but it's not going to completely take it away so that when you come off these things, coming off a Sarm cycle, man, I was maybe like low energy for 3 or 4 days, and I was like back to ready to go. I got blood work done 4 weeks later. Everything was fucking spot on, perfect. I was just living my best fucking life. I was looking a little bit fuller, a little bit leaner, and everything was great. Where after a steroid cycle, your testosterone just tanks to the ground, 0. So when you come off that, you have to mandatorily take a PCT, and not to mention it takes 3-4 weeks for your body to get back to normal. So I went from 3 days of just being a little down to having a fucking month of depression, trying to like constantly remind myself that no, bro, you ain't fucking depressed. It's just you have no testosterone. You're a 13-year-old prepubescent girl until the PCT stimulates those testes and you get your life back to normal. Now, let's talk about the results. The results from Sarms are always going to be mild, especially if you've taken steroids. But I do feel that Sarms is a great fucking way to introduce yourself to steroid. Because I'm assuming that a lot of people going into this do not have a lot of knowledge. And you will fuck yourself up on steroids. I fucked myself up on steroids until I finally learned how to fucking do it because no one on the internet was talking about this shit. Where Sarms, you can take, and even if you fuck up, even if you don't really take a PCT, even if you fuck up your PCT, you more or less will be okay. Like every time I made a mistake on my Sarm cycles, I was okay, you know? But anytime I fucked up on steroids, I paid the fucking price. Let me tell you, I took Tren and Deca together. Tren and Deca are 2 19-nor based steroids that raise progesterone. Progesterone causes gyno. But how the fuck was I supposed to know that at 19 years old? No one was talking about this shit. No one was going over this. More plates, more dates is amazing, but I could barely understand anything he was fucking saying at the time. So I did that. I did not take Caber, and I just took a ton of anti-estrogens because I was like, bro, that estrogen causes gyno. Progesterone also causes gyno. So then I had unreversible gyno. I had to get gyno surgery. My first cycle ever, I didn't understand how testosterone even worked. Even though I did a PCT, I still broke out into acne that was fucking so bad that I wanted to kill myself every single day for 3 months. And now I'm left with these permanent acne scars that everyone's like, yo, did you get stung by bees? Oh, you look like fucking shit. I've learned to be comfortable in my skin, but I dealt with that for the last 4 years of my life. And honestly, it does still get to me sometimes. And that is why I fucking started this channel of just being open and transparent, is so this shit doesn't fucking happen to you guys. Cause it fucking sucked. If everyone was just open about this shit, so much information would be out in the world that, like, obviously side effects are dependent on people and like everyone will have different side effects. But you will minimize your side effects to virtually none. Because if you do a proper steroid cycle or a proper Sarm cycle, you are not going to get any side effects. Now, I can't talk about everybody. And obviously, if you're abusing them, you will. Because like when you do a contest prep, you abuse them. And a lot of people that take Sarms abuse them. But if you're just using them how they're supposed to be used, you're not going to get any side effects. That's all I have to say. So let's go over side effects though, because it is possible that they could happen. And I know people always want more. It's our generation. They always want more. They always want more. They always want more. So you are going to start upping your doses, upping your doses, upping your doses, where testosterone, the minute you take it, is going to aromatize depending on your genetics. I personally aromatize like a motherfucker. I've said that in every single video. Everyone's like, yo, why do you take 1 milligram of Arimidex for 600 milligrams of test? That's because my E2 fucking skyrockets and I need that to bring it back down. Where Sarms, if we're looking at the overall consensus, is they were made for testosterone replacement therapy. That was actually what they were supposed to be used for. But obviously they got pulled off the line because it couldn't be clinically safe. There was just too many side effects. If it was perfect, they'd be using it. So that's what I'm saying. If you can use nothing at all, that would be super. But you're not going to, because I've been in your situation. And if you're Googling this in the first place, I'll give you 6 to 8 months before you actually pull the trigger. Now, Sarms or virtually don't aromatize. So LGD, Rad140, Ostrine, unless you're heavily abusing them, you are not really going to deal with any estrogenic side effects. You are not going to deal with any androgenic side effects. You should see no difference in your mood. You should see no difference in the oiliness of your skin. You should see no difference in your life whatsoever other than getting a little bit fuller, a little bit stronger, and having a little bit more energy, which is great. And then when you're getting into like stacking things, like my favorite stacking Sarm cycle was bulking, was 20 milligrams of LGD and 20 milligrams of MK677 right before bed. That was the GOAT. And I just honestly thought that was perfect. Obviously the MK677 holds water retention. You can really get rid of that water retention. Your body has a ratio. Every gram of carb you eat, your body will hold a certain amount of water. Sarms, yeah, you don't need any anti-estrogens because it's not gonna aromatize, and for the most part, you're gonna be pretty good. Whereas steroids, you are going to need an estrogen blocker. You're gonna need a set PCT in place. You just need to plan a lot more, and you have to take the steroids a lot more serious than you do the Sarms. Now, obviously, you need to be taking your diet, your training more serious as well. Each principle is good in its own ways. It just depends where you are. Like I said, if you can just stay natty and not do it, that's gonna be the best case scenario. But I know I was like way over the place on all this, but steroids is a lot more serious, a lot more advanced. You're gonna get a lot better results. You're gonna have to plan out your year a lot better because you can do like a 3 to 4 month cycle. Then you're gonna have to take 3 to 5 months off. Then you can do another cycle, and it's just constant planning like that. Whereas Sarms, you can kind of do it a lot more freely. If you did an 8-week Sarm cycle of Rad 140 at 10 milligrams, you're gonna get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, have a little bit more energy, like I said. But if you came off that, ideally, if you did a heavy Sarm cycle, you would just take Novadex as a PCT. You don't need HCG. You don't need Clomid. Stop listening to these people trying to just sell you shit because that's what they're trying to fucking do. It's like, no, bro, you need HCG, Nova, and Clomid. And their Sarm cycle was 20 milligrams of LGD. Like, no, you need like 2 weeks of Novadex, 1 week at 30 milligrams, 1 week at 10, and you'd be more than fine. But your testosterone levels, because they did not tank to the ground, are gonna come back a lot faster. You're not gonna be as upsetty spaghetti, and you're just gonna live your life. And then you can do a Sarm cycle probably a month later, as long as you get your blood work done and everything's good. So you can do it a lot more frequently if you're one of those people that just like to look good for the beach, or you like drinking. That's kind of like where Sarms come into play, is like the final touch. Personally, I don't like stacking Sarms and steroids together. Again, you're just taking two things to put more testosterone in your body. If I wanted more testosterone in my body, I would just fucking take more steroids, more testosterone. But I do stack steroid cycles with things like GW, YK11, and MK677. So with that said, I'm gonna wrap up this video here. If you guys have any questions of anything below, like I said, I was just kind of going over my personal experiences. I do not promote the use of steroids or Sarms. I just kind of wanted to put this out here for entertainment purposes. And like I said, if you're looking for any research chemicals, www.themarkplummer.com has everything that you could possibly look for. We ship to the United States and to Canada. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out my TikTok. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and make sure to follow me on Twitter. Those are gonna be the links in the description. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are going to 100,000 subscribers by May. It's my birthday and we are breaking that 100,000 subscriber. So thank you guys so much for watching.